Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and today Apple released iOS 26 Beta 4. Now, this update was released alongside iPadOS 26 Beta 4, macOS 26 Beta 4, watchOS 26 Beta 4, tvOS and HomePodOS 26 Beta 4, and also visionOS 26 Beta 4. Now, I am not on the betas. I am currently on iOS 18.5, but I'm going to talk about what's new in iOS 26 Developer Beta 4. And a lot of people that missed Liquid Glass is going to be happy, although they haven't really. They brought back some of the Liquid Glass features, or mainly made it more noticeable. On Beta 4, it looks a bit more lighter, whereas to Beta 3 here it looks darker. Then I have another screenshot here where it's more darker and it's more lighter with 26 Beta 4. So they've updated Liquid Glass to where it's more lighter and you can notice it even more in iOS 26 Beta 4, as a lot of people missed the Liquid Glass, but some had mixed feelings about the feature. And also, notifications gets an update with Liquid Glass. If you have a ton of notifications, it will now dim the wallpaper shown in this screenshot. It will dim the wallpaper so the notifications can be more easier to read, whereas it did not do that before. So that's a nice new change in iOS 26. And speaking of wallpapers, I'm happy to mention that in the last beta, which did not come out last week, it came out 2 weeks ago, we got 3 new wallpapers. I did make a video on it that same day. We got Halo, Dusk, and Shadow wallpaper, and they named the default blue wallpaper for iOS 26 the Sky wallpaper. Well, now in iOS 26 Beta 4, we now have a dynamic option, and this is very similar to the one we got in iOS 18, although they kind of added it in a different beta. Last year in iOS 18, it was Beta 3 that got the dynamic wallpaper. From what I've looked up on the internet, it was Developer Beta 3. This time around, it was Developer Beta 4. So we now have a dynamic wallpaper option that goes through all of the wallpapers that are in iOS 26. So the Sky, Halo, Dusk, and Shadow wallpaper will now circle through in both light and dark mode, and it will do that based on time of day. It will pretty much work the exact same way as it does in iOS 18. The phone app also gets an update, or the settings for it. In iOS 26, you have the option to screen unknown callers, but it now has its own menu with some different options here, where you can ask the reason why the person is calling. So it now has some different options. In iOS 26. So in iOS 26, we do have some different options here. Whereas in iOS 26, You can select different options. You can ask the person their reasoning for calling, or you can also silence the caller. Those are some great options in iOS 26 rather than having just that switch to toggle off screen unknown callers. So that's a nice new update to the phone app in iOS 26. Also, the camera icon gets a slight update, and I do have a picture of it here. It has an outline around sort of the lens icon, although it looks to be darker from what I can tell on iOS 26 Beta 4. So that is a nice new update, and I believe you'll get a splash screen once you go into the camera app. When you update, you'll get a hello screen and go through different notification options in iOS 26. Now, as far as when to expect the next update from Apple, well, I believe at this point, we've all been waiting for it, and we pretty much know what the next update will be. That is iOS 26 Public Beta 1. And I will make a video on it when it releases tomorrow, because that's when we are expecting it. Tomorrow is Wednesday, July 23rd, and we are expecting the iOS 26 Public Beta. Will I be installing it? Probably not, as I don't have a device to run stable on iOS 18. And whilst it's a public beta, which is typically more safer, I'm still not taking the chance and just putting it on my main device. Maybe when it's beta 8 or the RC, I might take the chance then. But right now, most likely I'm not going to install the public beta. I'm going to stay on iOS 18, but I will still make videos talking about the beta and what new features are in it. But tomorrow, I would expect the iOS 26 public beta. However, I would not expect a beta 4 re-release. Usually, a week after beta 3, they would re-release beta 3 for the public beta. Not this time, because we're getting the fourth developer beta exactly one day before the iOS 26 public beta comes out. So this time tomorrow, we could have the iOS 26 public beta. Now, also next week, I would expect iOS 18.6 to drop, and that should be on Monday, July 28th. Now, this update, I will be updating and make a video on it, because at this point, admittingly, I am kind of tired of iOS 18.5. I haven't faced any bugs, but it's just been really strange how there's been no double point update, which is, in my opinion, somewhat unlike Apple to not have a double point update like 18.5.1. We've just been stuck on 18.5 for exactly 2 months straight. It did bring new features like an updated Pride wallpaper and some updates to Apple Care warranty and updates to the Mail app, but we've been using the update for 2 months straight with no double point update, and it looks like next week we could finally have an update to fix whatever bugs could be in 18.5. So I will be installing and making a video on iOS 18.6. Now, I would not expect iOS 18.7 betas. It's been rumored every year that we can get iOS 18 or the 0.7 update released in the form of beta. Honestly, that hasn't happened since iOS 14 back in late 2020. And since then, we've never had a beta release for the 0.7 update. What's usually been happening is when the major software releases in the form of an RC, so would the developer, or so would the beta 7 or the 0.7 update for that current software. So for example, iOS 26 RC would release. Then alongside it, we would get iOS 18.7 RC. Then when iOS 26 releases, we would get iOS 18.7 with the option to update to iOS 18.7 or update to iOS 26. And obviously iPhones that can't update, like the iPhone 10R, 10s, and 10s Max, will have to update to iOS 18.7. As far as beta 5, that I would expect the week of August 4th. And I will do a video, 2 videos that day, because on August 4th, that's going to make 1 month for my second YouTube channel. And speaking of my second YouTube channel, I will check quickly to see how many subscribers we have on my second channel, Hawkins Tech Vlogs. I did do a day in the life of the Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. So far, I haven't got any comments. But I currently have 9 subscribers on my second YouTube channel, which is Hawkins Tech Vlogs. So if you enjoy the content over there that you see, make sure you like and subscribe to my channels. And also follow me on TikTok, where I will post a short video. I'm not most likely going to have a short video on YouTube because there really isn't nothing in iOS 18.6. It's just a minor update, and it brings some bug fixes and improvements. So there really isn't the need for a short video. My what's new video probably is going to be, I would say, probably 10 minutes long. I'm not exactly entirely sure, but we're going to have to wait and see on July 28th when Apple releases it. And I'm also not going to make a prepare to update video because, again, it's a minor update and you can watch some of my other videos, but I will have a prepare to update video for iOS 26. But I think I'm going to name it iOS 26 How to Install, because I already have a video on this channel titled iOS 26 Prepare to Update, and that's for the beta. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We are getting close to the milestone of 300 subscribers and 10 subscribers on my second channel. My name is Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I'll see you guys later.